Welcome back to the Girl Herd. I'm Angie. We have Devin, Michelle, and a very special guest with us today, Houston's own Chykie Brown.
What's going on, y'all? H-Town.
Welcome to the group. Speaking of H-Town, the three of us have had many conversations about North Shore and the talent at North Shore, and that there's a little bit of a gap that we've seen of players coming from your high school and funneling into Texas. So talk to us about what it means to play for North Shore and what's going on. How do we get this pipeline moving?
This story runs deep. It runs deep on the east side of town of Houston. So a lot of us grew up in the same neighborhood, playing, at the parks together and all that. Outdoor football. A lot of us, family knew each other, all that. And we went to the same elementary, middle school, then high school together. So it's like, it's not, it's nothing new to us. So when we play on the field together, because we know each other, playing outside of football and then growing up, us going to, every Friday we used to go to, one of our friends, Kevin house, every Friday have pizza night, and games and all that. His mom used to do that every Friday for us. So, we did that since third grade all the way up to, pretty much senior in high school. So, so that's why I say it's like, we had a family on the field, so we played hard for each other, and, we competed all the time because, we had so much talent, around us. So we had a lot of, the track guys was the DB room, so, we had, it was just fun, we competed a lot against each other, and that, that translated, to UT. And I think what Joe, let me see, was it Joe first? Joe Walker might have been the first UT guy to come from North Shore. Then from there it was Corey Redden all the way, and it just kept going,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so cool you're talking about the fan base of North Shore, because I spent some time going to some games, especially this past fall. The fan base is so old, so it really is that legacy of family from a long time ago. And I think our excitement, we know one of the players right now, Chase Calicut, he's a senior right now at North Shore, and potentially Texas is in the mix. I think we're his top choice, but we're excited for it because, we remember being students alongside you, Chykie, and we're so excited that you were from the Houston area. We rely on North Shore to hold down Houston. So, we'll see what happens, but we're hoping Sark has made a couple of trips to the school lately, and we're hoping that we can see more players signing.
Yeah, I'm trying to get them to come. I'm putting a
I know.
I'm putting a few words out there to try to get them, because it's been too long,
Yeah, we're like shameless plug. You're like now helping. We're gonna tell Quan that's not your job. Help recruit the North Shore players.
Bring the helicopter back to North Shore.
Right. We let Sanchez get away. I was trying to get him, but hey, with this portal going on, hey, things can change, after 2 years at Ohio State. We probably can get him back, get him in UT where he belongs.
So what does it mean to be like when you're talking to Sark and you're telling him about a player from North Shore, like what is he getting? What sets a North Shore player apart from anybody else in the state?
Hey man, I mean, I'm gonna say this: just the history talks about itself. The history goes for itself. Like we just consistent. You're gonna have smart guys, ball players. You're gonna have athletic guys, fast guys. You're gonna have guys that's nitty and gritty. That's dogs. So I mean, that's just it's just a pipeline. Like I say, it runs deep. From elementary all the way up.
Have you gone back to North Shore and visited?
Yeah, I went back. Yeah, I might go back. I'm thinking about going Thursday. They got like a scrimmage this Thursday, the last scrimmage. So I might go back and check and see what's going on.
I love that. Love the ties. And you mentioned a little bit of the portal, and something else we wanted to talk to you about, because that is drastically different from when you played at Texas, is NIL. So give us your thoughts on that as changing the landscape of college football.
With this portal issue, I didn't talk to a few of the DBs about it. Like, hey, bro, dang, our parents had us a little too early. We missing all this money that they giving out. But I mean, I'm gonna say this. It's something that the players been fighting for a long time. Because all the universities been getting paid off us, our names. And we didn't get nothing out of it. That's a good thing. Players starting to get paid for what they do. That's bring what they bring into the university. But the only thing about that the bad thing about that we see in the portal and NIL money, like old buddy from the quarterback from
Nico.
Tennessee,
Yeah.
from Tennessee that messed up. Him doing that type of stuff right there, like that he chasing that money, and end up missing out. Millions of dollars that he had already in Tennessee, and he wanted more. So you feel me? I feel like that's an issue, with kids chasing money and thinking, and forgetting what they really there for. Really you trying to make it to the league. But I feel like a lot of guys, get your degree, make it to the league. But a lot of guys, they will get comfortable, because they already getting paid, money like that. Some guys will be instilled, well, hey, it's more where that come from. It's more money where that come from. You keep grinding, you keep getting it. But a lot of guys will get comfortable because of, they already getting treated like celebrities. They getting paid like the NFL. So similar to the NFL. And, some guys might, start falling off the hunger. They might don't have that hunger like they used to. With us, we knew in order to get past that we had to make it. So our grind was different. We wasn't getting that type of money. And a good thing is I don't know how we would have acted if we would have had that type of money coming in, because we was balling and doing our thing. So with that, man, that type of money that was coming in, I don't know that was a good thing for us or what, but man, it would have been crucial. I know that.
So you're saying you may not have ever made it to the draft?
I ain't gonna say that, but I'm gonna say we would have gotten the trouble we did get into. It probably would have been more. It probably would have been more where that come from.
Yeah.
It would have been bigger outside of Austin, Texas.
Yeah. It would have been It would have been crazy. I can already tell you. And then with the Porter situation, I was talking to Coach Akina last month. I went out there. Me and AJ was out there at the Omni. We was at the Omni Resort with Coach Akina. We just sitting by the pool talking to him. Just welcome him back and all that. Just talking about old times. And he was talking about the portal, all that, and we were saying how what we liked what Coach Akina did, that a lot of coaches, we didn't see from a lot of coaches really in college and growing up, because like the kids now, they get they get benched. Like if they get benched, they want to transfer and leave instead of competing to get yourself off the bench. Us, we was already, we always really Coach Akina always had it where you're gonna have DBs around you. You're gonna have to compete against. That's gonna make you better every day. He always had a group of guys, 2 to 3 DBs that go to the NFL in the same year. Because of it's the competition you had. Just like me, AJ, and Curtis, we always competed at practice. We always competed at practice. And whenever one person get beat or one person do bad, we get benched, and Coach Akina put the next one in. And our way, he like, you mad? Get yourself off the bench. Make a play. Go get yourself, back in there. But these days now, these kids will, they won't have that hunger to compete no more. The fastest way out is to quit. Go to another school and transfer. I don't know if that's a good thing, because NFL teams look at that like, dang, how many times this kid gonna transfer? Or can he fight adversity? If some go bad, can he, compete to get his spot back? But some kid, like I said, that transfer portal might hurt a lot of people. Teams gonna look at that.
Yeah, I'm so glad you addressed that, because I remember your freshman year and just the group that you came in with were so talented. You had to work your way up, as did a lot of the other players on the roster, like such a deep depth chart, us coming off of that national championship in 2005. And back then there was no portal, there wasn't any of that. So it was like you got to get out there and grind. And there is positives to that. As you mentioned, he was putting multiple players through the league. And I think Sark has kind of developed that same mentality. You'll notice the folks who fold, if you will, or leave, no disrespect to them, but a lot of that has to do with they are looking for those opportunities, and maybe that situation will be good for them. I think you could argue both sides for sure.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah. I like what Stark doing. He's starting to bring that back. But you gotta look when teams see, guys see competition in the room, they feel threatened or they don't feel secure in themselves, so they'll transfer to a school where they ain't gotta really compete for a spot. They gonna come in with the number one spot already. But like Georgia, Alabama been proving it. Ohio State been proving it. Hey, you can be third string, fourth string, and still make it to the league. Because they gonna come. First of all the scouts gonna come and look at why is this program keep having all these NFL names coming through. So they gonna go to the practice and see what type of practice it is. Okay, this is an NFL style practice. The competition is going on. It's like an NFL practice. So that's going that helps guys out. I'm not gonna lie. Once you have a room full of guys that you got to compete with that will be playing on the next level on Sundays, teams look at that, scouts look at that.
Yeah, I think especially as it relates to extending your college career, because before, pre-NIL, pre-portal, it was sort of, hey, go take care of your family and get out as soon as you can after that eligibility was done, or your rule of those 3 years was done. I'm so curious your thoughts, because we wanted to ask you too. We've set a record with players going into the draft this year from Texas, and I want to hear from you on your process with that transition. Like, how much different was it? Like, do you feel like you had to get your speed up? Like, how athletic and physical were the practices, and just what that process was like, and what's your advice to the guys that got drafted this year? How can they prepare?
I'm gonna say, man, just keep doing what y'all doing, man. Just don't get complacent. Stay hungry, man. Like always know in the NFL level is different from college because this is a job now. This ain't no this ain't no college where you got to go to class after practice or like that guys come in to take your spot. So you got to compete every day. Especially if you're not one of them early round guys. If you're a late round guy, you got to prove yourself. That's being in meetings on time, early, watching film with coaches, asking questions. I'm gonna say staying at the practice later. Showing coaches that something different about you than the other ones. You got to be on all the special teams. You got to do more than a guy that was picked like first, second round. One of them the guys. But it's just you gotta just prove yourself, man. Stay hungry. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I feel like we mentioned a little bit too with Coach Akina. Can you talk about how he prepared you guys? And like Devin, you mentioned the talent that was before your time, Chykie, and the veterans that y'all had on the team to kind of look up to, and all of that combined. Like, what did that mean for you as a DB to have those veterans to look up to, and also have a coach like Akina who is gonna set you up for success in the next level?
This video is brought to you by Luxe Kitchen and Bath. Luxe has been offering high-end kitchen and bathroom remodels for 3 generations throughout the greater Austin area. With 5-star review after 5-star review on Google and Facebook, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can put your faith in Luxe Kitchen and Bath's award-winning designers and skilled craftspeople to bring to life that dream vision of your special home. But that's not all. Luxe's all-star team provides full remodels, large additions, and even commercial build-outs as well. So call Luxe Kitchen and Bath at 833-358-LUXE today. Or visit luxekitchenbath.com to discover where quality meets luxury and begin the process of transforming your home. Get a free quote today by calling 833-358-LUXE. That's LUXE. Or by visiting luxekitchenbath.com. Link in the description.
Like you say, us coming in, we had the older guys that was already, getting looked at by scouts. Like you said, they was coming off a national championship. And, we had in the room, we had 2 guys that was, Thorpe winners in one room, so, just watching them and just, learning from them and just, understanding how they compete against each other and like what they was doing since they freshman year. They was all competing against each other playing. They had a rotation. A Ross was the third. The nickel corner really was the third corner coming in. And he won the Thorpe Award. So you feel what I'm saying? Like it was like a competition. So it was pretty much Coach Akina was getting us ready to go to that next level. When it's time to go to that next level, how does it feel to compete with another top guy and pretty much hold your confidence, hold yourself, stand strong to the work you put in throughout the week preparation for game day. So Coach, I recommend Coach about that. Shout out to him, Coach Keenan, for pretty much putting that in us, from a freshman competing, always competing one-on-ones and everything.
I have to ask now because I know Angie and Michelle ran into you at the playoff game at Clemson, which was cool. So what do you rate y'all's defense, Chykie, versus last year's secondary? Last year's secondary, did you spend a lot of time getting to watch them? And what do you rate them against y'all?
Man. Hey, I'm gonna say this, they good, I ain't gonna lie, they nice now. They nice. But we we were just a little different, man. We was just a little different. We was going to get some receivers now. We were going to get some dogs now. We people understand the receivers we went against, and we went against the receivers that in 1 year they came 1, 2, and 3 in the Belinokoff Award, the best receivers award, all in the same conference. So we was going to get some first round pick receiver dogs. So I mean, we was going to get some great quarterbacks too. So it's they good, but I feel like we I'm pretty sure they gonna feel the same way about us. They gonna say the same thing, but it's the film don't lie. Just
yes.
All they gotta do is put the film on.
This gives me like a great idea. I feel like they should do like a 7-on-7 or play against each other with both y'all on opposite sides. That would be hilarious. Do you know how many people would come to watch that? Like CDC, I know you like to make money. Like, let's make it happen, a little celebrity game.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. We asked Aaron the same question, but in a little different way. And I think back to, we were joking around about Akina like yelling at you in that very famous viral photo. And he said the difference between y'all and the group from last year is that maybe they're a little bit more risk taking. You all were perfection and listening to exactly what Dwayne was wanting to do. And maybe that's why he was yelling at you, because you were like trying to do your own thing and, knowing a little bit about you and your personality, you've got your own flair, your own ideas. And he was probably like, no, you need to do this. And what I noticed last year, their flair, right? The way they were able to pick the ball off and anticipate and be in spaces and places that sometimes the secondary, they're staying home a lot. They're staying disciplined more. So that's what he said the difference was.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's gonna be a lot. You're gonna see the Coach Akina effect. You're gonna see a lot of guys. I hope he don't take that from them. Them taking risk and all that, because of, like I say, Coach Akina very sound in detail. Like what I'm talking about. Hey, you better be. If you do make that play, you better hope. What I'm talking about. You right. You better hope you right, because if you get beat, if you try to take a risk and you get beat, man, it's gonna be a long year for you. So I mean, like AJ right about that. Probably the difference is like they was able to take risks, and we was very sound. Like we played man a lot. We was a man to man a lot, because the corners we had 3 corners that that can pretty match up with any guy, with any receiver. So we play a lot of man to man in that year, and so we had the best safety, roaming side to sideline to sideline, Earl, so that was. That was great. Then, with Blake was the smart guy that pretty much was the second D coordinator on the field that was telling everybody what to do. So he was a smart guy. He played fast because he was smart. He knew what was happening before it was happening. So, yeah, I mean, I that's who Taffer kind of remind me of Blake. Blake Gideon. That's who Taft kind of remind me of.
I wish they would have used to like mic y'all up back then, so we could have heard like what Blake was really like saying to y'all on the field.
Oh. Man, y'all, man, if they had Blake mic'd up, if they had us mic'd up, y'all have so much respect for Blake, y'all be like, God, Blake, He was telling everybody what to do. He knew everybody's position. He knew the linebacker position, the corners, the safety, the nickel. He knew everybody's position.
That's funny. He's like the orchestrator on the field.
Right. I tell everybody this. I be like, bro, if you go look at the secondaries, you don't see too many white boys in that secondary. I say it's the reason why Blake was back there. It's the reason. He was nice now. I say he the only I say he was the only white boy back there. I say, trust me, Blake was nice now. He was like that.
I know. It's sad to see him go. Of course, we're excited about Coach Akina. We've all, the three of us, have talked like what hope he comes back. Like what a coaching staff that would be to have, both of them. But I agree with you, Chykie. Like Taft also reminds me a lot of Gideon, and watching him when we were in college too. And he always talks about him how like Taft is also very smart and exactly what you just said, can anticipate plays. I am so excited that he came back for another year and didn't go into the draft, and to see how much he can do this year as well and be disruptive.
I think this will help. I think this will definitely help him, especially especially him coming with the story he had, as a walk-on guy. Now, Lee pretty much being the voice of the defense, or really of the secondary. The old, really the OG of the team. The defense. So I mean that I think that will definitely help his case for his draft stock. And then I'm pretty sure he might be one of the guys that's early finalist for the the Thorpe Award, because he the years he put in and what he done last year on the team he did it on, so
We'd love to hear that.
Hopefully we can keep that Thorpe coming in.
Yes.
Yes.
DBU.
I know. I was gonna ask too.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Who is the real DBU?
We fell off a little bit, but it's coming back. Don't worry. The Godfather back now. The Godfather back now. Don't worry.
The Godfather. I love that. You did a little bit of projecting of the Thorpe Award. We want to hear your thoughts on this season, where you rank Texas, where you rank everybody else, who's going to the playoff, who's taking home the Natty. What are your thoughts?
From what I see, I mean, just let me see. Coming back, I'm gonna say, Texas. I for sure see us in the top, the top three. Especially, and then us having the number one recruiting class coming, in this year. So that definitely will help. And then all the hype that's on, Arch back, I believe in him. I think he's gonna do big things for us, So I believe he's gonna, I like for us to be number one, but I don't think we need to be number one that early. I think we need to earn number one, because having number one is a big target on your back. Get complacent with that, they can start feeling themselves a little. But let me see. I think Ohio State gonna be up there. I think they're gonna have them up there. Probably the top three. Clemson, they're gonna have Clemson up there in that top three.
Are you gonna head to Columbus?
I think they're gonna try to do some. I think they're gonna have some with I'm gonna try to make it there. I'm gonna see who all going. I'm gonna try to make it out there. Yeah,
the three of us are going.
That's gonna be a good one. Week 1, I'm gonna try to make it out there. Yeah.
Yeah, week 1. Ouch.
Y'all going? Okay.
We're
going.
I'm
trying to see who all going. I'm gonna try to see AJ. I'm gonna talk to J Charles out there. I'm gonna see if they going. Try to get a little trip going. I know VY might go. I'm gonna hit him up, see if he going.
Get the band back together.
Yeah, I'm with you though. Clemson, they just signed like a 10-year home and home with Notre Dame. I'm not trying to see them in the playoff again with that quarterback. He's very talented. And of course, we all know he played against Quinn at the state title game when they were in high school. So let's hope we bypass them. But I think we're right in the mix once again. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah. But I mean, with the defense we have coming, I think we going to be ready to play with anybody. Say our defense carried, our defense this past year, we missed a few pieces, but I think that's what Stark's so good at, replacing guys that's leaving. You're having a pipeline of guys, So I feel like we're gonna keep gaining. We're gonna keep growing from what we put on the field last year. I think we just gonna keep elevating.
Yeah, and I think I'm really excited too that hopefully there will be a little bit more balance. We're not going to be looking to the defense to, really carry us through a lot of these games. Like, find that balance between the offense and the defense and see where the heck it takes us.
I mean, teams gonna have to respect us now. They got a guy that can hurt you with his arm and his legs. So you got to play straight. You can't just cheat. With a lot of teams with Quinn, they couldn't. They knew he wasn't gonna win with his legs. They knew he wasn't gonna beat him with his legs. So we can just rush our guys and just sit back and double whoever, or just sit back and But here with Arch, you'll get beat like that. You'll get beat like that. He'll make you pay.
I can't wait to see him. I'm excited for this year. I understand not having a spring game, but it makes me miss football that much more. And I mean, we're almost there. It feels kind of crazy that we're in May, but I'm excited to watch our team this year. And I agree with you. I think we'll be up there, but I'm always very optimistic. So
yeah, I mean, I don't like being that early. I don't like being up high that early because somebody like I say, it's hard to hold that position down every week, especially when the target on your back, and then you got to play to a certain level every week, and everybody out to hunt you. Instead of it's different when you trying to fight for that, when you in a position to fight for that number one spot. Now you got something to hunt for, somebody. So your mindset different. So that's why I don't trip on coming in at number 5 or top 5, whatever. At least we all you gotta do is just keep winning. And because people gonna knock each other out, people gonna fall, and you just gotta keep winning, stay consistent.
That's so true. And you know what? Another dynamic that's changed, because whenever you were playing, you really did have to be perfect because it was the BCS system. And with the 12-team playoff, obviously we want to be perfect. But if you end up falling in the regular season, it's not the end of your season. And it's like, hey, let's clean some things up. And to your point, it releases that pressure. And I'd rather have that in the regular season than in our playoff season when we're trying to go for a title. So really interesting.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
I saw a story today that they were saying that Texas and Ohio State could potentially be 2 teams with 2 losses that still make it into the playoff, which I think is also really interesting. And like you said, Chykie, they have to respect us at this point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's like you say. One thing about when we was playing the BCS, you couldn't, you rarely see teams and that's championship 1 loss. You don't really see that. Everybody, you're gonna be undefeated because everybody know if you lose, that can damage you from going to national championship because we didn't have the playoff system.
Right. Well, we are so excited that you came to join us today, and we look forward to seeing you at a game next season.
Will do. Thank y'all for having me. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Hook 'em horns.
Okay.